So yeah, I've been using a lot of Apple products for the past 2 years now, and well, it's kind of because the competition basically started to suck. So I was kind of forced to doing this, but after using Apple products for over 2 years as my sole devices, like I've gotten rid of Windows, I've gotten rid of Android, those are out of my life basically. Well, except for that one Samsung phone that I used the camera with temporarily just to show off my devices. Aside from that, I've basically been using 100% Apple products for the past couple years, and well, it's kind of what's built my entire YouTube channel. Well, not just this channel you're watching, but all 7 that I'm currently running. Yes, I manage 7 channels. Please check them out. In fact, I got more announcements on that in a second. But in today's video, as Apple news has been dying down, I've been trying to think of topics other than like the Apple TV. You can buy the Apple TV and get a $50 gift card. Yay, I guess. Empty MacBook Air pre-orders are this Friday. Yay. Yay for you guys at least. Not me, because I can't really afford that, nor do I need it. So instead of trying to talk about news, I've decided I'm actually just going to review my whole Apple ecosystem, as I basically submerged myself in that for the past couple of years. And this is basically going to be everything that I like about using all these products, because considering I haven't left this ecosystem for the past 2 years, yeah, I guess that means there's a lot I like about it. So let's begin. So to describe how I'm actually going to look at this, I'm just going to look at it as the way I use my devices, and it's primarily, I use them as tools. I don't really like to think of them as toys like many other people do. I think of them as tools to help me get, in this case, my YouTube job done. I use my iPhone for various other things at my actual day job, but it is an important device in order to manage certain things there. So yeah, my iPhone is already important enough there, but all of those things that I use my iPhone for could be done easily with any other phone. So for the most part, I'm just going to focus on this job and not my day job, because I do use my Apple products at my day job, just not nearly as much as I do for this job. That, and I could use really any product for that. So let's get into it. First of all, we're going to start with my iPhone, things that I love about that. With my iPhone, I love how I can record 4K at 60 footage. I've recently started doing that. I can now record 4K at 60 footage non-stop until basically the storage fills up, just like any other camera would behave. That is really nice. And the next thing I absolutely love about my iPhone is AirDrop. AirDrop is so helpful. I am constantly using it. And the fact that Android and Windows don't have any integration similar to this, it's embarrassing. Seriously. Google, Microsoft, you should be embarrassed by not having these features. But AirDrop is basically what I use to quickly get my video footage from my iPhone off of the iPhone to the MacBook in the editing station. I also love using my iPhone as its camera because, I mean, it's very portable, very pocketable, it's easy to take with me, and it's great for a vlogging camera as well. I don't have to have this giant, bulky thing on a tripod or some gimbal or something. No, it's just as simple and lightweight as my typical smartphone, and I have it with me everywhere. So what's there to complain about? Okay, the audio quality is not the best, and I want to work on that at some point, but I haven't really found the most ideal setup for audio just yet, but I'm going to work on that at some point. But in terms of video, the iPhone produces good enough quality to the point where I don't really get any complaints about camera quality on YouTube. I mean, sure, maybe my lighting's not the best, and that's because, well, basically all I'm being lit by is literally my ceiling light right there. But still, the iPhone records amazing footage. Like, I've tried using multiple different Samsung phones in the past, and despite that, yeah, I still prefer Samsung's color science compared to iPhone. It's just the iPhone records better video. There's no way to put it. Samsung's, they really tend to overheat when you try to do 4K at 60, last I checked. And even then, just somehow Apple spits out the best quality in terms of footage. So yeah, I gotta give the camera on my iPhone a lot more props than probably more people give it. The last thing I really like about my iPhone is portrait mode. I love the different filters on it, and the reason actually is because I use those filters to actually take a picture of my face for thumbnails. There's a special tool I use to eliminate the background, and using the black background within portrait mode basically basically it just turns everything around me black. All I have to do is take that filter tool, select the black background, and poof, it's gone. I'm basically a PNG image after that. Portrait mode in the iPhone is great. And that's basically where the iPhone uses in my YouTube workflow have basically come to a halt because, well, after we got the footage recorded, now it's basically just time to start editing it. So that's basically where the Mac comes in. And honestly, there's so many different things that I just love about using my Mac. I mean, I've already mentioned that I absolutely love AirDrop, how I can seamlessly share files between my iPhone and my Mac. And as I've actually gotten into YouTube Shorts, I don't know how to do this on the desktop site, but evidently, as far as I know, the only way you can upload a short is from a phone. You can't do it from the desktop, which makes literally no sense. YouTube, why are you so broken? So because of that, I'll shoot footage on my iPhone, I'll AirDrop it to my MacBook Pro to edit that, more on that in a minute, and then I'll AirDrop it back to my iPhone to post to YouTube Shorts. It's great. It's amazing. I love it. All right, now more stuff on the MacBook actually. Let's talk about some things about the MacBook that just help me accelerate my ability to edit. First of all, this is specific towards the laptops. I've used Mac desktops before, but I mean, I gotta give the laptop credit where it's really due, and especially the MacBooks. Trackpads. I hate trackpads. I really do. Most laptop makers, sure, many people say they've really improved compared to how they used to be, but even when I use them, I use Chromebooks. Not only do I complain about the plastic trackpads feeling cheap and plasticky, they're just not good. I'm not even complaining about feel. I'm just complaining about even functionality. It doesn't track as well as a MacBook per se. But this isn't even a problem on Chromebooks. This is even a problem on high-end Windows laptops. I've used so many different trackpads on, well, not just low-end, but even high-end laptops. No trackpad comes anywhere close as high quality as the MacBooks. And honestly, the MacBook's trackpad is pretty much near perfect to the point where as long as I'm not video editing, I basically don't need to take a mouse with me wherever I go. I still need to take a mouse with me primarily because I need to scroll and move the mouse on the playhead at the same time. And unfortunately, I can't do that with the trackpad because, well, in order to scroll, you need to use 2 fingers, and then to scroll your playhead, you need a single, well, yeah, you get the point. It doesn't work. But whenever I am not editing on this laptop, the trackpad is, I often don't even bother taking my mouse with me. That's saying a lot. Other things that I like about my MacBook that I've actually found much more helpful compared to the Windows side, the keyboard hotkeys. Believe it or not, I'm actually much more of a fan of the hotkey position. Like, instead of control where your pinky is just stretched out towards the end of your keyboard, and then you gotta stretch your other fingers along the entire keyboard to try to reach that far letter to perform your hotkey. No, with the command key, it's closer to the middle of the keyboard, so that way I'm not struggling to actually reach other keys so I can perform a simple command. That is something that I've learned to appreciate very quickly about the Mac, actually. So, whew, so nice to not have to stretch my fingers so much. Other things I love about editing, well, the display on my MacBooks and basically all modern Macs. I mean, the 2 Macs that I previously used before, all have garbage tier displays by today's standards. But this display, it looks beautiful. It's got every feature I need to possibly try any editing thing I want. And now we're going to get into macOS specific stuff. Final Cut, and I'm not saying iMovie this time because, believe it or not, I've actually transitioned to Final Cut. I am not running off of iMovie anymore. I'm done using iMovie, and it's not because I hate the editing software. I really like iMovie as, well, an editing software, except for some odd reason it is buggy as heck, and I cannot get that thing to be stable. It's randomly crashing. It's basically broken at this point, and I don't know why it's broken. Apple, please fix iMovie. It's not stable anymore. But Final Cut, on the other hand, despite that, yeah, it hogs a lot more storage than I would like. Then again, most pro software like Final Cut does the exact same thing, so I guess I can't complain. Final Cut has been much smoother. I've only have one complaint with it, and it's because it's got the same broken feature that iMovie has, and that's I cannot use my sound clips for my intros and outros, which drives me mad. I really would like to use those, and not even Final Cut is capable of playing those back. But other than that, Final Cut, it's smooth and, to my surprise, extremely power efficient. Like, I am shocked. I've spent a couple hours editing an entire vlog that's up on the vlog channel, and yet somehow it's so power efficient to the point where I only dropped like 10% battery. What? And that's basically steering me towards the last thing that I appreciate about being in the Apple ecosystem, especially today with my new MacBook Pro here. And it's basically the battery life on my laptop helps me be able to be the creator I want to be for longer periods, to the point where, honestly, like my iPhone, I literally just charge my MacBook at night. Yeah, I'm not taking my charger with me and randomly plugging it into an outlet at some random point in time. I'm literally just charging it like my iPhone. It's as simple as plug it in overnight and charge it overnight. What? It's crazy. So to sum up my experience with using the Apple ecosystem for over 2 years at this point, honestly, it's the perfect platform for creators like myself. Now, I understand there's people that still despise Apple for whatever weird reasons you guys despise them. And because of that, yeah, you can still film with an Android phone. You can still edit in Adobe Premiere or DaVinci Resolve on a Windows device. It's not as smooth or as seamless or as well integrated as the Apple ecosystem. Like I said, I'm getting the best video quality ever on my iPhone, and it's just an iPhone XS Max. It's not even the fancy iPhone 13 Pro Max yet. Jeez, I gotta get back to my shopping and actually get my 13 Pro Max. Ugh! The biggest thing that I noticed when I jumped ship from Windows and Android to macOS and iOS, the Apple ecosystem, my creative workflow has only gotten smoother. I'm getting the best video quality from my iPhone. AirDrop is so helpful. I don't even have to take a cable with me to get video footage off of my phone. It's as simple as AirDrop it over. And then also the extreme performance and capabilities of the M1 Pro chip in my MacBook Pro here, as well as its power efficiency. I feel like I can create basically anything. And this is just describing my YouTube job right here. Honestly, when I'm using my Apple products, people often think at a first glance, Apple, you're limited, you're constricted, you can't really customize or change it, basically be personalized to you, yourself. The odd thing is, despite that, yeah, you can customize Windows to do whatever you want, like you can even change the taskbar design if you want to, for example. And same goes for Android. You can do whatever customization you want to make it your personal thing. You can tweak it so that way you can find ways to speed your workflow up. Honestly, I've just found that using Apple products, that workflow goes so much smoother because unlike Android and Windows, these two separate devices that I'm primarily pointing out, my iPhone and my MacBook here, they're actually designed to work together, not Windows and Android. And because of this integration, I'm getting the best quality of basically everything, from videos to editing, and I just feel limitless every single time I do this. I feel more limited actually trying to mess with Windows and Android to actually get it to do what I want it to do, and yet this ecosystem right here is literally doing everything I want it to do and even more. Like I just mentioned, I'm doing YouTube, for example, as part of my job. My 16-inch MacBook Pro does even more than just regular YouTube job. My 16-inch MacBook Pro here also does my music job. Yes, I am also a musician and I am working on recording music, hopefully to publish soon. Unfortunately, my music set is not complete yet, so it's been a struggle. But the point is, I feel limitless when I do that. And when it comes to my iPhone too, I never feel constricted. That's the weird thing that so many Android and Windows enthusiasts hate about Apple products. They say it's so constricting, it's so locked down. But the odd thing is, when I'm actually using these things, I feel limitless. I feel like I can do basically anything, which is quite a shocker. So that's why I'm a fan of the Apple ecosystem, and that's why I'm going to choose to stick with it. All right, so some last things here that I actually want to wrap up with. Yeah, the graphics that I'm using for the intro and the outro, they're not really complete, actually. I know they're kind of boring and basic, but that's because I'm not actually finished with doing them, with actually changing them up. I feel like it's actually time to change up the graphics and such. I'm just not done with it yet, so graphic style is going to change within a specific time period. It's not going to stay consistent throughout this entire month on basically any channel. Like so far this channel, I've actually gotten around to changing the graphics. All the rest, they're basically still using the same old ones. I'm not finished with the graphics. I'm working on redesigning them, so that's why they've changed, but they've also seemed kind of boring, and it's because I haven't put much effort into it yet. But I wanted to do that change up real quick, so okay. Please bear with me with the boring graphics. I'm working on something cooler. It's just, I'm not done yet. And then the last thing that I want to celebrate for this channel is we have surpassed the 50 subscriber mark. I am so shocked that this this actually happened as soon as it did because it took my other channel, my first one, the Random Alpha, it took how many years to actually break the 40 subscriber mark? I spent years with under 40 subscribers, and well, I'm so grateful that now that's not the case, but still, I'm grateful that we're at 50 subscribers. Thank you for choosing to follow me. It's a pleasure making this content for you and hopefully not boring you to death. So yeah, thanks for subscribing. More to come in the future, especially as I gain higher budgets and, well, take this channel off the ground. So now that we're at 50 subscribers, can we get that to 100 before the end of this year? Oh, that would be so nice. All right, enough promotion. Thank you for watching. Do me a favor and interact with the stuff below. My name is DeWolf, Random Alpha, signing out.